Hi everybody, it's James here. Welcome to this quick video looking at cutting and gluing Plastikard. Basic tools you'll require: a pencil, a couple of small files, a craft knife, Stanley knife, or that sort of large cutter, a scalpel, metal straight edge or rule, and possibly a set square depending on what you're building. Also, for gluing the Plastikard, we'll be using Plasweld. So as you can see here, we've got a simple sheet of Will's Plastikard. This is available in packs of 4 or 5, and it comes in various textured materials such as brick, roof slate. This one here is just sort of plain concrete. It's also used in most of their craftsman kits, which is obviously quite popular and many people use. First thing you have to do with them, if you look at the edges, they've got these little pips which need to be removed. Now you can do this a couple of ways. You can just tack it with a file. You can try and run a Stanley knife blade sort of along it, but you often end up with a curved or curled edge, which is not very good when you're gluing bits together. Filing it back is another option, but can be sort of time consuming. The way I do it is to basically get hold of the scalpel and the straight edge and just cut it away. Now the reason for doing this video is a friend of mine was talking about how difficult it was to cut this Plastikard. They explained that you don't just push through in sort of one hard motion, it's lots of gentle strokes. So you have 4 or 5 passes over it, and if it doesn't come away, there we go, so it's not come away just yet, have another couple of stripes, so just gentle pressure, and push hard, there we go, and it's come away. That's now a nice clean straight edge, and if there's any sign of any burr or rough edge after we've cut that, we can just gently go over it with the file just to smooth it across. Again, gentle pressures are required, otherwise you end up with a well on one side. Okay, so now that's been done, we'll actually look now at cutting through the Plastikard and gluing it together. First thing we need for this is the pencil. Again, you notice I'm using a more retractable pencil, so you can get a very precise mark. It's not a thick pencil line, so we can see exactly where we're going. And just offer up your straight edge and cut the points together. And we've got a guideline to work from. If you don't want to use that, you can also use, as you see here, a set square, which will basically do exactly the same job, providing the edge you're leaning against is square. There we go. So we've now got 2 parallel lines, one I'm going to cut, one I'm going to glue to. It's interesting to note now, important to note now, that when you're cutting through Plastikard, put your straight edge, your metal rule, over the bit you're going to be using, so you're cutting away from the edge that's going to be used. This is done so if you do happen to slip, you don't slip and cut into material you're going to be using for your model. Again, note I'm using several passes of the knife. As we get further through, we can use a sharper blade just to get in there and finish it off, so you end up with a rough edge at the end. Like I say, look, it's not one cut, it's lots of small continuous cuts, and eventually we'll break through. When you're thinking about there, you can just give that a little check and a test. What I do is give it a little bit of a bend and just check the resistance, and that's still got a bit of a way to go, but we can see it's showing on the other side. So back in with the scalpel, I think just a few more passes of the blade and that should break through. People who aren't confident with scalpels and craft knives, you could use a cutting disc, but that will melt the plastic edge, or you could use a razor saw. It will work, but it can be a little bit more difficult to do. There we go. And they're apart. Again, just check for any slight burr on the edge where it's been cut. For this job here, you could actually use sandpaper or wet and dry paper at a very fine grit, but I prefer just to use a small file just to remove anything off the edge. There we go. Now, gluing them together is the next bit, and the thing a lot of people do now is they tend to go in there with the wrong adhesive, we'll say. It doesn't really matter what you use, as long as you're happy with it. I mean, many people use super glue. The problem with super glue is, of course, that it tends to squirt out everywhere, which is why we use Plasweld or Mech Pack if you're buying it from Slater's Plastikard. Check the packaging. The one on the right is slightly older, but it does the same stuff. It's easily available, and you can pick it up from most model shops and model row exhibitions. I recommend you get a brush for this job. Slater's Plastikard do actually sell a brush, as you can see, for their Mech Pack, which is exactly the same as Plasweld, and it's got these quite long bristles on the end. And the reason for that is we're going to dip it in and then pass it along the joint. What this glue does, it doesn't just simply press the surfaces together and create a glue bead. It actually melts the surface of the plastic and fuses it together, a bit like a weld. Now I'm doing this as one take, so you can see that I've not done any camera tricks or made any sort of attempt to distort the results. And as a result of doing this and working through a viewfinder, I've actually put this plastic upside down. So what I'm now doing is fixing this together using the Plasweld, but it's only actually connecting on 3 of those little pips which you saw me remove one of earlier, which is why it's just fallen over on the first attempt. So what I shall do is keep that firmly held, just use the lid to support it for just a second, and again you'll see here just a couple of passes of the brush. You don't use a lot of this, you don't need to. And all it's doing is just fusing the two materials together. Leave that just for a second, and that's it. The two pieces of plastic are now glued together. No movement, just give that a check, make sure it's not going to fall off. And there you go. It is as quick and as easy as that. At this point I realised I'd glued it the wrong way around, but that's not the point. Here's a few other items I've assembled over the years using Mech Pack and Plastruct. This here is a Grand Central pattern signal box. All these items are N-gauge. Don't worry about the grey windows, it's just masking tape to protect the glazing. This is a small country barn, again, made from layers of Plastikard, and again all held together just using a Plasweld. This one was slightly fiddly, but again you can see it's done in layers. The glazing is across the back, and then everything's built up on top. The top layer actually being the window bars themselves. So there you go, guys. I mean, there's not much more to it than that, really. It was just a little video to sort of try and help you out with anyone that's going into building and working with Plastikard and plastics and wasn't really sure about how to go about putting these things together. Hope you found this video useful and informative. Any further questions or inquiries, please leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And so I'll just leave you these last few images of things we've built previously. I'll say thanks for watching and bye for now.